Chicago Bears ended their night 2 of the NFL draft, and some interesting decisions were made. The Bears had 2 second-round draft picks, but decided to trade out of their second one to go into the third round. And with their only pick in the second round, they went and grabbed Logan Jones, the center out of Iowa. So they added to their offensive line. I always say you can never have too many offensive linemen. While it was a bit surprising, considering I thought that they would just go defense throughout this draft, grabbing a center, a young center, someone who could be the linchpin for your offensive line going for the next decade, no problem. Then they traded down to get 2 third-round picks, and you're thinking, okay, all right. There was still some quality defensive tackles and defensive ends still there in the draft that they could have used that second round draft pick on, but okay. We're going to trust Ryan Poles and see what's what. And then with their first pick in the third round, they went and got Sam Roush, the tight end from Stanford. I'm still trying to wrap my head around that one, considering that the tight end room I felt was well stocked. I didn't think they necessarily needed any more offensive weapons, but here we are. Now you've got another tight end to your tight end room, another offensive weapon for Caleb Williams to have at his disposal. So you're thinking, all right, they've got one more third round pick to certainly use on a defensive player. And with their last pick of tonight, they went and got Xavion Thomas, a wide receiver out of LSU. So after their first round pick of Dillion Thieneman, the safety from Oregon, or the collegiate safety from Oregon, they went and took offense the rest of the way. This one's going to be a head scratcher because even as I said last night on the Under the Hood draft show, they needed help on a defensive line. You needed an edge rusher. You needed some depth on a defensive line, and yet they didn't do it. This pretty much tells me this is a Ben Johnson draft, and kind of what I speculated could happen, happened. Ben Johnson has taken control of the team and the whole draft process, because you can't tell me that a team that had one of the lowest pressure ranks in the NFL did not do anything to address their defensive line struggles. This is Ben Johnson's call. On the one hand, you can trust it. On the other hand, at some point, you're going to need a defensive front four to get pressure on the quarterback. It doesn't necessarily have to result in sacks. If it does, great. But you want to be disruptive on that line. We'll see what happens for the rest of the draft. If you're a Bears fan, you got to be wondering what is going on up in Hallis Hall, that they would make these type of picks knowing what your weaknesses were. As always, you can catch me on YouTube, Threads, TikTok. It's a CTJ Report. Please like, subscribe. Let me know what you think.